Somebody's here. One person's here. How are we doing this morning? You can see where we're at. No surprises. Just continuing exactly on the same block in the same place that we were on the other day. Every stream is a new audio experience. I've spent the last 1 hour here with headphones, testing, A testing, B testing, C testing. I spent the last hour trying to do this. Noise suppression on, off, noise gate on, off, compression on, off, settings, put them in order, put them in this. At the moment, the noise gate is off at the moment. The outside audio is off at the moment. There is a compressor running. The compressor on the Zoom is off because it doesn't play well with OBS. The only compression running is in OBS at the moment. The mic is on the desk, plugged through into the video. And my testing of the last hour, this is the least bad of all the things. There's a hiss you're hearing, and that's partly an underground hiss to the audio, and it's partly the fans, which are screaming right in front of the microphone. What should be gone, I think, is that watery thing that was seemed to have been caused by what was the noise suppression that was on there. So I think you're okay. I think you're hearing my voice okay. There's a hiss below everything. And the compression, I think the compression's working well. The bad noises are being kept down. Yeah, lots of hiss. So that's the hiss that I cannot get rid of without adding other kinds of distortion. Anybody wants to send more advice, please send it over. But I spent literally the last hour from 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock doing ABC testing. Paper is out, yes, thank you very much. Recently there are printers working here, so we do need paper action here. The paper is out. Today it's Ishikawa-san. She's working on, it's worse. Ishikawa-san is here. She's working on the GJ number 7. Oh, I can't see. So in vacuuming, not yet, you're hearing the fan noise, the hiss on the stream, and the outside air conditioner from the department store down the street. The MacBook is indeed about to lift off. In fact, the MacBook is already lifted off because of the heat this thing's generating. I've got the MacBook on a stand. It is, it's popped up. There's airflow. I've got it on it's on 2 tape dispensers. My hand goes underneath it, and it's warm under there. It's warm. Remember, we have 3 video feeds coming through here. You know, that's a pretty heavy demand on the CPU. And over the next couple of months, as we get hotter in here, it's going to get worse. with Matt. How are we doing? Transmitting at 720. No, I'm at 1080. We're sending it at 1080. Yes, this is right. You're right. The Mac ports, it's always different. I don't have really much choice here. I have two USB ports on this, and both of those are being used for video feeds at the moment. So I can't use a USB microphone. Is it possible to boost the bass for the audio? I'll put it in my list of things to try for the next one. I don't know. I'm not going to really sit and muck with it right now. I've got the different compression settings I was trying this morning. I don't know if there's a bass boost here. That's the air conditioner down the street. Been a peaceful few days here in Asakusa, nothing much going on. I know. What day is it today? It's Saturday. It's the weekend. Soka. I guess it'll probably be much noisier out there today. Tokyo has been coming back to life. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it is. Noise everywhere. I didn't catch the... Worried about the longevity of shark skins wear out? Absolutely. I mean, they are sharper than the brushes, so the first, the shark skin cuts the brush doesn't cut the skin much. But yes, shark skins do wear out, just bit by bit by bit. They lose their sharpness, they lose their effectiveness. But having said that, what have we got? We got 3 of them here now. The very first one I set up, which would have been 35 years ago or so, and we're still using it. Even though it's quote unquote worn out, it's still useful for the last touch-up work. It's noisy out there today, I've got the outside microphone turned off. I don't know if I should put it on or not. I think it's too noisy out there. Yeah, anyways, I say shark skins do wear out, but without wanting to be sarcastic about it, the kind of level that many hobbyists or amateurs are working with, one shark skin will pretty much do you for life, I think. How aggressively you use it all the time. This wood is really soft. It's just like butter here. I'm carving butter today. Garbage, we had lots of garbage yesterday actually, because we're getting warmer now. The garbage is of course, smellier and stuff, and the what do you call namagomi, the raw garbage, the burnable garbage pickup is twice a week here. This is pickup Tuesday mornings, which you don't see. Let's see, what's the pickup? Pickup's Tuesday mornings, put it out Monday night, and then the other pickup is Friday morning. So we don't really see the garbage pickup so much each day. But yesterday, we pick up Tuesday morning. I don't even know what day of the week it is. They pick up on Friday morning. Lots of people must have put out their fairly smelly stuff, and the crows had been going nuts all night. So when I got up in the morning, it looked like a chaos out here. And some of the residents help clean up before the garbage guys come. But the garbage guys just, whatever, they pick up the bags and they've got a quick broom to try and catch it all. There's been requests from the city garbage people, please don't put it out the night before. Put it out in the morning. They don't come to start picking up until after 8 o'clock. So it's no big deal. Everybody can put it out after they get up in the morning. I think it's now coming into the warm season that the city is going to be more strict on this. Please, people, don't put it out at night time. Yeah, no, I don't know what day it is. It seems like I really don't know what day it is a lot these days. I'm not, of course, with no shop anymore, or with no staff coming in to do, shop events and print party events and stuff like that. Cameron never comes in anymore. He's always at home. I really don't have any signals to let me know what day it is, other than this stream, actually. You might laugh about this, but whatever. But each morning now, I wake up, whatever, 6:37 or something, and the instant first thought, come alive, is it a stream day? Is it a stream day? Do I have to get going, or do I, roll over and go back to sleep? These streams are the only thing that really define my my knowledge of what day it is. I said before, actually, I am really, really kind of actually enjoying this, We had a fun environment with our shop and stuff over the past few years, but I really, really now, I'm enjoying this. It's the kind of life I had back, all through those years when I made prints by myself. No alarm clock. Self-regulated schedule. It's, oh yeah, my son and I were talking about this yesterday. He's working on the knife project now. You know, there's nothing to announce for you. He's working bit by bit. We're trying to get a new design for the knives worked out, what kind of handle. We're way down the road. There's no products coming anywhere near yet, but we're at early research stage on a knife project. And he's got himself an Illustrator program he's worked out to try and make the jump from the shape we want to how you get the handles made by CNC and stuff like this. So he's working, but he was here yesterday, and he really wants to get going on that knife project as a business. You know, let's boot this up. And he's been doing lots and lots of the research, and I'm of two minds about it. I know another new business endeavor. More machines to buy, more staff, another website, more business. You get the orders coming, problems happen. Another level of complexity in my life, you know. And we are going to do this because he's done all this work, and we are going to move ahead with it. But he detects in me a certain lack of enthusiasm. And absolutely that's the thing. There is a lack of enthusiasm. It's the same with the bakery products. We were talking about the muffins and the cookies and stuff like that. I'm still testing. I'm testing muffins a couple of times a week. I try a new recipe up there, sometimes successful, sometimes less so. But there is absolutely a definite lack of enthusiasm on my part for it. Another back into the fray, you know, whatever. We're coming along here. Coming along. Clean. I'm not really following very well today here. Sorry. Excuse me. I need a holiday, right? Like, no, this is a holiday for me, actually. So, yeah, there's so many projects. You know, we want to make the paper, the tool project, the food, the muffins, and everything else. So many projects, and I'm just sort of okay. That's sort of a metaphor, that's the wrong word for it, but there has been a lot of commentary about this. You know, I've been reading the different newspapers and magazine stories and everything else about this, the new life we're living, you know. And there is sort of one analysis of our current situation is that this huge problem we have has actually put a perhaps much needed break on a society that was kind of getting out of control. You know, there's a real discussion there. You know, that of course this is no good. People are out of work, people are starving, and we have real lots of problems. But the other side of the coin is we were kind of getting out of control, and in my own selfish personal environment situation, that's exactly true. We were doing really well. We were glorious. We were steaming ahead. We were having a great time. Wonderful. Everything was great. But it was getting out of control. And now suddenly the brakes are on. And where we're going from here, I can't tell, of course, but But I do have the feeling that sort of our runaway system has suddenly been just sort of reined in and halted for a while. And in my own personal part of this, it's very much a time for, okay, let's think about this. What do you really want to be doing here and stuff like this? Now that the brakes are on and things are paused, what do you want to do next? Do you want to go back? Do you want to go a different direction next time? Whether or not society can be making the same analysis or not, I don't know. But Dave here personally is absolutely in that situation. And we chatted about it last week. I am not going back to the same situation. There's no way. Even if everything happened, if the airplanes and stuff, everything all came back to life tomorrow, there's no way I'm going to go back to what we were doing. I can't do it. There's something related to that too. I know, not going back, but also setting up some different projects. Somebody, I think I saw a moment ago, 3 or 4 minutes ago, or 10 minutes ago in the stream, somebody mentioned the Patreon thing. They're talking about my computer. I need a new computer or whatever. Somebody said, I use the Patreon money to get a new computer and stuff like that. The Patreon thing is very much now something I have to spend some thought on over the next couple of weeks because if you had told me X months ago there will be a global disaster like this, or people will be losing their jobs hand over fist and whatever, of course that would affect our Patreon situation. It turns out my thought on that, my analysis, my expectation of it was completely, absolutely upside down. And I've been shocked and stunned and surprised and pleased and everything to find out that our Patreon revenue over the past few months has expanded month by month. From March to April to May. And I haven't, of course, had personal contact with everybody, but there's lots of mail, lots of posts, lots of comments. And many people have been, because the global economy is so difficult right now, many people have assumed, expected, understood that we're in trouble. And they don't want us to get in trouble, and they are continuing to help. Even in a difficult situation like this. Now, the original idea of the Patreon project was to pay for the wages of a person to come in and take a huge amount of my workload off my desk. And that's exactly what happened. Cameron came in 2 years ago and transformed my life. And he's still doing that. But the idea that you should use Patreon revenue ongoing to support a fundamental part of your business, the bookkeeping and stuff like that, doesn't sort of make sense. And Cameron is not paid out of general revenues, of course. So why do we have a Patreon? What's it for? Well, the original idea was to get David out and to do projects that we wouldn't be able to do in the normal course of business. So I've started to rethink this, and that's what I should be doing with that Patreon money. Cameron's getting paid as part of the normal part of business. People shouldn't have to donate for that. If we can't even do our own bookkeeping, it makes no sense to have a business. So over the next few months, we are going to reallocate the money that's come from Patreon. In fact, it's already started. There's 3 new projects. 2 which I can mention right now, and 1 which is not mentioning yet. Different from the ones we talked about. The tool businesses, it's okay. It's a new business venture that we're doing. There's a market there. We're going to try and prepare a product for it. That's okay. That's ongoing. But a couple of other things that would never happen because they're not part of our business. And that's what we're going to use the Patreon money for. People are donating us this money to do something that we can't do in the normal part of business. 1, and this is up and running as of yesterday. I can't show you yet, but it'll come to life now over the next few weeks. In most of these streams, I do a show and tell. I grabbed something from the collection upstairs and showed it to you. And there's this word collection. What is our collection? Some of you who have been here and visited here, is John here today? Wherever he spent a few minutes up there. Over the past 30 years, I've accumulated and collected a bunch of really, really interesting woodblock prints of a type that have not been collected and accumulated by the museums. Anyway, long story short, starting next Wednesday, Yamada-kun, who used to work in our print parties are gone. Yamada-kun is now working for me. He's going to be one of the two collection curators. We're going to use the Patreon money. We're going to hire him starting 1 day a week, 2 days a week. And he is going to start a couple of things. I built the software over the past couple of days. I adapted some of our other database software. I prepared for this collection. And we are going to, step one, get the data in there. What is this? What we've got? What is it? Where did we get it? What's good about it? What's going on? We're going to build a database for it. And of course, he's going to start shooting pictures and scanning this stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just the first step of what's going to be a many year process. Step one, the database will be part of our internal manager system. And as soon as we've got a few dozen or a couple of hundred items in there, we're going to flip the switch and make that part of it open to anybody who wants to browse it. So the collection will be browsable by anybody with hopefully interesting high-resolution scans/photographs and descriptions. He's really happy to have some work because the place he used to work, he was doing part-time for us here, and he was doing part-time for us at a fruit parlor around the corner here. And it seems they are probably not going to come back to life. They didn't survive the little hit that happened. I guess they're gone. So he's really happy to have that. That's one of the two projects that we wouldn't have been able to do because there's no revenue. It doesn't earn anything for us. It's simply money going out, and it doesn't earn anything. You could imagine in the future it might do. If you can imagine a future Mokuhankan shop here, where there's a display room, the Mokuhankan Museum, whatever you would call it. So it could be part of the things that brings people here, but it's not going to directly earn any money. Anyway, that started, as I said, I did the program in the last few days. There's a test already up and running, and he's going to start next Wednesday. He's going to start the data entry and scanning. The other one, I'm not sure if I should talk about it because it's really off the wall. I don't know. It may not work out at all. I guess we can talk about it, whatever. It's just an idea. Last year, 2 years ago, sometime, we had a request from a publicity company, Dentsu organization, a huge advertising company. They said, can we come for an interview? I'm like, from Dentsu, we're not going to buy any advertising. He said, no, nothing to do with us. We have been hired by the Tokyo municipal government to interview a few people who are doing interesting things with Japanese culture for a magazine story published by the Tokyo government. I'm like, okay, sure, of course, no problem. So 6 or 7 people came. 2 or 3 from the advertising company, 1 or 2 from the Tokyo government, and a young lady was with them. And I think she's American. I'm not quite sure. It could be Canadian. I don't know. And she was there she's the one who was going to actually write/edit the story that they were done. So anyway, we had the interview, we had the story, back and forth. It was published. In fact, it's online. I think we talked about it some time ago. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has this magazine, and it's online. I'm not following this very well. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Will the images be watermarked? No! Give me a break! No. No. Anyway. So we did the thing, we did the interview, we did the story, whatever. The story came out okay. It was interesting. They missed some things that I thought were important, and they focused on some things that I didn't think were important. But it doesn't matter. That always happens with interviews. Okay, move along. A year or so, the lady who had been in that group, again, American or Canadian, whatever she was, she came to us again. I remember we interviewed you guys a while ago. This time it's something different. I'm working with a website that promotes tourist places. Can we come and talk to you about, putting you on a website and stuff? So we did. She came. She did a print party. And I guess we were on their website before the tourist business disappeared, whatever. Anyway, this lady wrote again about a week ago and said, can we update our website? Are you still doing print parties and stuff like this and whatever. And I laughed and got back to me. But after I sent her that email, I sat and thought, here's a lady, American Canadian, speaks English, speaks Japanese, knows the culture here, stuff like this. There's another project I've been thinking of that perhaps she could help me with. She works in the editing field, like, doing websites and magazine stories and writing and editing and this and that. So I thought I would make her a little, use the word proposal, I know, a suggestion about some work. Dave here has been struggling with a lot of background projects that he would like to do, but has simply never had time for. I used to do a newsletter 4 times a year. That's history now. There's been no time to do that anymore. I used to write. Actually, I was a writer for the Mainichi Daily News for years. I had stories featured on their front page. I was in the rotation of the writers on their front page. Very successfully. I wrote to them one day and said, look, I'm sorry, I'm a bit too busy. I can't do this next month. Can you find somebody else? And they did, and that was the end of that. So we've got lots and lots of content and stuff here that isn't nothing to do with printmaking per se, but Dave putting out material out into the world. And our YouTube channel, when you look at it, the most popular videos on our YouTube channel, the ones that people come back to again and again and again, the ones they talk about again and again and again, are the ones that are not specifically related to how to make prints. They're Dave talking about life or something. So anyway, I wrote her an email last week saying, please don't, whatever, just let me throw an idea at you. In your job as an editor, would you be open to the idea of coming over here like you did for that interview some years ago, putting the recorder on the table, sitting talking to me for a while, taking some of the sample presentations I made, get your red pencil out, get your blue pencil out, whatever color they use these days, I don't know. Would you help me get some of this material into a shape where it might be presentable to the outside world? And she said, sure. So that's the other part of this. We're going to take some more of this revenue that's sitting here, and we are going to try to, and this may not work at all. She and I may find we can't compatibly do this, Dave, when somebody's editing something I prepare, write, great, I have to be ready to let go and say, whatever. So we're going to try it. She's coming over next week one day. Yeah, this coming week one day. And we're going to try and see if she's willing to work for Dave or with Dave as an editor or co-producer, or whatever the word is, of a new batch of stuff that is not about the printmaking. Whether this will result in some YouTube videos, or just some text presentations, or a book. We'll see. Here's the vacuum cleaner, right about on time, right? Just after 8:30, 8:40. I go to switch my glass, I got the wrong glasses on, so I'm struggling. These glasses are for the computer. Switch them off, these ones for carving. And for the past 5 minutes while I was babbling there, I've been carving with the wrong glasses and squeezing and squinting. Go to switch them and change. Ah. You guys are quiet for a while. Good. No, not a muffin recipe book. No. This is private garbage company. This is not the city garbage. This is a private garbage company. What are they going to pick up? That's outside the hot dog place. No idea. The mic is different. We have another test mic set up. Should I try putting the outside microphone on? Because it's off. We've got my microphone is here, but the outside microphone is off. Just too noisy? Right now was a garbage truck. Here, let me put the microphone on. This is the outside mic now coming on. Just adds too much noise, I think. Whatever. I think the outside mic is most useful not when there's garbage trucks, but when there's people walking around in bicycles. It's the ambience. The difference between the audio here and the audio in the YouTube videos is night and day. Of course it is. I do the YouTube videos at 2 o'clock in the morning when the city is down. I shut the door, shut that, turn off the fan in the bathroom, make sure my stomach doesn't growl. There's no computer fans. The computer is meters away. The YouTube videos are, like studio produced. This is just happening in the noise and the environment of a day here. The audio in the YouTube videos is always totally separately recorded from the video. And we process it. I try and I process it. I remove hum, I remove stuff, Here on this live stream, that's outside the Korean restaurant, I guess, a bit past it. Maybe they must have left out some garbage, I don't know. What are we carving? This is one of the color blocks for the 2020 Patreon chibi prints that we make. All the people on our Patreon campaign get a couple of thank you prints every few months. They get 2 a year every 6 months. And this is the pair of chibi prints for the Patreon. They were supposed to be ready in May. They're not, but they will be done. This is one of the color blocks for this year's pair of prints. I had a request in the mail the other day asking about the Patreon chibi prints. Not this one coming up, but the ones from previous years. We've made these each year. This will be the 4th group. We did it in 2017, 18, 19, and this is 2020. And we've never put these prints into our catalog. We've never sold them. We make the pair of prints. We make the prints, and they go to the patrons, whatever they're called. And then the blocks have just been retired. The blocks are just sitting somewhere in the warehouse here, and we don't reprint it. But this person in email asked, and this is a request I have had before any number of times. They said, can I get some of the back issue Patreon Chibi prints? They joined the campaign just now, and the way we do it is they just get the current print, of course, as it goes forward. And I'm not sure. The blocks are still okay. We could pull out the blocks for the Chibi Patreon prints that we've made over the past few years, and we could print some more copies, and then what do we do with them? I know. Kind of part of the idea is these people on that who have been supporting us through Patreon, have a special item that nobody else has, or whatever. I myself don't like the idea of exclusivity and whatever. But a lot of people think it's really something special. That's the way they got it, by supporting our work. So should we pull out the old blocks and make some more copies and sell them? I don't know. I'm thinking that we just shouldn't bother to do that. But one idea is print them and then differentiate them. All the chibis we've sent to the patrons have had, it's been embossed on them. It says Patreon, Mokuhanka Patreon 2020 or whatever, and that will be on these two as well. And if we did a reprint of some of them, then they wouldn't have that mark. We would do it without that mark. Are there any more Heroes prints planned? In the short term, no. In the short term, no. In the long term, yes. Ukiyo Heroes is an ongoing thing. Jed has many, many designs that we haven't made as woodblock prints, and there's a huge reservoir of designs that are available. The easy and quick reason why we don't have any coming up in the short term is because they are extremely expensive for me to produce. And at the moment, our resources, all of our resources, carving-wise and carving and printing, all of our resources are spoken for on projects like the ongoing subscription series, reprinting the previous subscription series, printing and reprinting the current Ukiyo Heroes we have. We are still printing more copies of the rickshaw card. And we don't have the production capability to take on a bunch more new ones right now. The new projects that are underway that is using our production capability are the Sushi Cats project. The 3 of those is ongoing. One is in the market. The second one is coming next month. The third one is coming some months after that. The 8 Views of Cats series is up and running. The first 2 are physically in production. There's 6 more to come. And those projects, the Sushi Cats, the 8 Views of Cats, our ongoing subscription series, and our reprinting of everything else in our catalog, from Great Wave to Octopus to Tago no Ura, all the other prints. Those projects are eating every scrap of production capability we have. I cannot in any way at the moment take on a new project or make many more new prints. peaceful today, coming along nicely. Quiet, peaceful work. One group left, the scissors here. After this is done, what's next? The backside is done, then we'll have to, it's going to get a bit noisy after this is done. We have to move over to one of the other ones we've outlined with a knife, but haven't persuaded. The compressor should help us, I think. So what's the schedule? It's 8:48, 10 minutes or so here. That'll take us to 9, then 10 or 15 minutes of persuading, and then we have show and tell. You want my wood box? Talk to my daughters. That's exactly right. So. No, we don't sell blocks, of course. So no. There's another aspect to the idea about selling blocks, remember, too. Even if, for example, if whatever, we collapse, Dave dies, the stuff gets spread around, whatever, even if you've suddenly got or bought or stole the blocks to one of those Ukiyo-e Heroes prints, for example, you've got the blocks to the Mario Kart, to the Rickshaw Kart print, you couldn't do anything with it. Because the owner, possession of the blocks does not give you rights in the image in a contemporary environment. If you've got the blocks to my Great Wave print, you're okay. You can print it and do what you want and sell them with no problem. But having the blocks to one of our Ukiyo-e Heroes prints gives you no rights whatsoever as far as selling those prints. So there's two very different things in play here. In the old days, here in Italy, before there was such a thing as the copyright, which didn't exist in the old days here. Same as it's a relatively new concept in the West as well. But in the old days here, the word they used for copyright, one of the words they used for that sort of thing was hanken. And han meaning the block. You got the block, you got the rights to print this thing. The guy who was publishing, he would have paid a designer something. Give me a design. Okay, here's your 10 sen. Away you go. Goodbye. That was the end of it from the designer's point of view. The publisher has bought that design. There was no royalties. There was no copyright. The publisher would pay a carver to carve it, and the physical block then becomes the ownership of the image was tied up in the physical block. So how can block rights? You've got the block, you print it and make money. Nowadays, the concept of copyright is separated from the physical thing. You know, like when you buy a CD, you own the CD as a piece of plastic, but that doesn't give you any rights to broadcast or change or sell the music, of course. So this block that I'm carving on right now, I paid. Have we paid? Is John Amos here? Have we paid you yet for this one or not yet? I have to ask Cameron. I don't know. We have or will pay John the fee, his designing fee for this, and then we will chop a physical block like this and make prints and sell them within the limits of what John knows we're going to do. But as we talked about a few minutes ago, if I decided to pull out some of these old Patreon blocks and make some more prints and sell them, I have got to talk to John, because I don't have the rights to do that. It's his image, my block, but his image. What's the sound? Somebody cleaning up with a brush, a broom? hungry. My stomach is rumbling. Do I do a written? Me and John, no, we have no written contract. We know each other, whatever, he trusts me. From John's point of view, the only way this could go wrong is if I have a stroke or a heart attack, bang, that's it. His blocks are out there, and somebody could get his blocks. My daughters sell them. My daughters get them. One of our staff takes them. Whatever, the blocks could end up being out there in the wider world, and the next person who gets them either doesn't know or doesn't care or whatever. Remember, the blocks have no physical thing that says this is the intellectual property of John Amos. So you could imagine a situation where somebody gets these blocks after David has a problem or something and says, shit, I'm going to make prints with this. That person tries to do that successfully or not, puts them in the market. And at that point, it will be up to John. If he saw these and says, hey, wait a minute, that's my picture, that's then going to be between John and that person. It's the same as music, whatever. Somebody could take an old LP record, thinks it's copyright free, and dub it and try and sell it. Who's going to stop them? Well, at some point, the copyright owner, if they find out about this, has to step in, and then away you go. In the short-term future, John, of course, completely trusts me. He knows if we're going to use these to sell prints and make money, he knows we talk to him about it. So. We didn't arrange with John a piece rate. He knows we're going to do this and send this to our current patrons. I didn't pay him a royalty per single one. I paid him a fee for doing this design because we knew it was going to be a short-term use. In the case of Jed, with the things we are publishing on an ongoing basis, he gets a piecework royalty. The print we're going to publish, the one that the printers are printing upstairs today, he gets a royalty per copy sold, which makes sense because we don't have any idea how many will be made over the future. So it's an ongoing publication project. And just like any book publisher or whatever, he gets a royalty per copy. But with me and John on the Patreon, we didn't think about doing it that way. So. Why not? I don't remember. Oh, I know, because we don't sell them. With Jed, we sell them, and he gets a percentage of the money we receive. In the case of the patron, for instance, there's no money being received for the thing. I think this block is done and ready for the testing, print testing. Did we get it all? Quite frequently the end things get forgotten. That looks good, that's clear. This is in. There we are. How long did it take? Half an hour? Backside was previously done. That is done. One block face is ready. Here we have status then on this Patron Chibi print. Let's zoom out a little bit. Key block was done some time ago. Carved. The back side is blank. And then we have 4 color blocks. And we may be, after we do test printing, it might turn out that the color thing we've got doesn't quite fit, whatever. We have this block in reserve if we need another color. We have one more face to use for that. So the key block is done, and this is done. This will be the table color and the skin highlight. This will be, what is this? This is, I forget. This is the blue lilac color. Darker. This is the darker of the blue lilac. No, the lighter of the blue lilac colors. I don't remember. And coming up next this will be the skin tone color on the bamboo. And then it will be the This will be the darker of the lilac tones. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Let's do some persuading. Dave, do we do commission work for private work? No, it's impossible. We would do if we had, as I said before, about to work. If we had more production capability, we would love to work with many, many more designers to make many, many more instant prints. We're desperately short of production capability. So at the moment, I'm sorry, I cannot take on such work. I said at the moment, I have no idea when we might be able to do that. You're talking about putting copyright mark on the blocks. It makes no sense whatsoever. You don't put a copyright mark on the stamp that makes the CD or the records. The copyright is in the IP, in the intellectual property. It's not on a physical object. There's no such thing as copyright of a physical object. Yeah, Jed is working with new printers. There's three Carver's printers he's working with now that I know of, maybe more. William Francis in London, Steve Winiecki in New York, and Cal Carlisle in somewhere. Jed's working with new people. Okay, here we go. I think the compressor should take care of this. Are we okay? Testing here. If you've got headphones on, be careful. We are going to start making some noise. Here's a test noise coming. Are you ready? I believe the compressor should take care of it. If not, then all I can say is for the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, please drop your audio level. It is just going to get noisy. There's nothing else, no way around it. That's part of the process here. I'm not going to do both sides. I'll just do one of these sides for now, and then sharp. Dave's reminder, do not cut the registration mark off. Okay, here we go. Can I talk at the same time I do this, or it just doesn't make any sense? Does it get destroyed by the compression? You can hear me just fine, no more than usual, no more. Voice level and tapping is good. Speech comes through okay. Because we had a funny story yesterday. Actually, American friends will. I saw the announcement in my newspaper, this was 2 or 3 days ago. The government has arranged, they want to do a thank you for the healthcare workers. They've seen other countries sort of do this sort of thing. You know the deal. In Britain, they've been clapping and different stuff has been going on. In Japan is totally, absolutely different. There's been a huge trouble with discrimination against healthcare workers. There's been awful. Japan is a really interesting country. You know, some things are so good, some things are so bad, some things are done so gloriously, some things are, what were they thinking? You get an episode like this, a woman who's a nurse in a hospital or whatever, she's blah, 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 blah. Her kid's in the local daycare center. This is a month ago. So she takes her kid to the daycare center, and the daycare owner says, sorry, no, we can't take your kid anymore. You're working in a hospital. There might be virus there. The other mothers will panic. Your kid, sorry, out, out, out. And the nurse, like she's supposed to go to the hospital and just whatever kind of stuff that in some normal country would be like illegal levels of discrimination or something like this. But here in Japan, it's just, we have to worry about the other kids. Anyway, so the healthcare workers have had lots and lots and lots of problems over the past little while. Same as in any country, of course. Why not? So the government, having seen what other countries have done, they arranged a thank you. And what they arranged was they talked to the Air Force and said, do one of those fly pasts. I guess they saw it in New York, something in New York. The jets came over to do some kind of a gesture, just so people would stand together and say thank you. So the Japanese government arranged this. And it was in the news a few days ago. Get ready, everybody. On Friday morning at 12:30, we're going to have, over Tokyo, we are going to have the fly past in thank you of our healthcare workers. So I had forgotten about it, but then I heard about 10, 12 or so, whatever, people started gathering around on the street, and, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, I remember that. So I grabbed Aoyama-san, we went up to the roof here. Well, I thought, I'm not a big fan of the military stuff and jets and whatever, but whatever, I like toys as much as anybody, then let's have a look at this. So we get there, 12:15 comes, 12:30 comes, nothing, 12:35 comes, nothing, 12:40 comes, and there's nothing. I'm like, did I get the day wrong? And he gets his iPhone and says, no, it's today. And then, wait a minute, I can hear something. And I can't see anything. And he says, there it is, there it is, there it is. And he looks up, and so high in the sky, when the airplanes go over from some airport that's a million miles away, you can see the contrail, and there's a little sunny speck in the sun up there. That was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jets were making their pass across Tokyo, and I could not physically see it. They came across, they passed over the sky tree, came around in a figure eight, and like, okay, this is the warm-up. They're figuring out, making sure that's our pass. Okay, now they're going to do the fly past. We wait, and we wait. 1 o'clock comes, and that's it. They're gone home. Interesting difference. You know what happened in America, of course. There was great trouble because so many people came out into the street. It's supposed to be locked down and all that kind of stuff. But I was expecting one of these things where the jets come in and, oh my God, there it goes, and I could not physically see them. This is such an insane country. I love it here, but I tell you, whatever. Sometimes they get it, and sometimes they just don't get it, and whatever. What are they called here? They're called Blue something. They're called the Blue, not Blue Thunder. They're called Blue something. I forget. Blue Impulse. You got it. John, I should just let John tell these stories. It's so cute. And I can see why this would happen, the authorities. But what would happen if a bolt fell off one of these planes and hit somebody? We'd never hear the end of it. So they're so fearful and afraid that something will go wrong. Which is, it's a bug or it's a feature. It's a feature, I guess, whatever, But sometimes you gotta say, look, that's just, yeah. You said, John, it would have been perfectly safe. No, it would have been 99.999% safe. Whatever. I love the place. I like it. I've chosen to live here. Of course, there's no perfect place. No perfect place. Everybody's got their problems, but Japanese are nervous about slow-flying aircraft. I guess so. Yes. Why am I laughing? But yeah, okay, whatever. Or maybe part of it too. There was in Canada. There was an event. Was it a month ago or so? They were doing one of these flypasts, and again, I think it was the same thing. Thank you for the healthcare workers, and it was a crash. And one of those things crashed in Kamloops in Canada, and I think one of the pilots died. And nobody hurt on the ground. But these guys have obviously seen that kind of news, so of course. Of course, it's a balance. It's a question of risk. I get it. I get it. I'm carving it deeper than a millimeter too. Yeah, remember the carving depth we do with our cutting knife. This is deeper to show. The plywood on this thing it's whatever. It's around 5 millimeters. This is a pretty thick one. It's around 5 millimeters, and there's no way I will get down to the plywood inside. There's no single place on here I should ever get into the below that 5. So you should never see the underlying plywood here, just the chair. If it's too deep, it's physically difficult to brush across the surface. When the block is finished, to use an example, the one that's now finished. How deep is, again, if it's too deep, then we don't get marks on the paper. But the brush itself, when it physically moves across, it bangs on the attack side of each of the places. If it's too shallow, it's really easy to brush. It's wonderful. Your brush just feels like it's moving across a flat surface. But then, of course, you get problems where the paper might touch in the intermediate places. So for us, it's just a Goldilocks question. For us, balanced on the kind of paper we're going to use, the amount of moisture in the paper, how much pressure, what level of brush hair we have, how soft the brushes are. That's how deep we need to carve. And it's just, for us, it's a Goldilocks. The narrower they are, the less far down you need to go. The wider you get, like if you measured here, it will be X, here will be 2X, and here it will be 3X or 4X. It gets deeper the farther out you go. It's like the oceans and the land. The oceans get deeper right in the middle. And the reason why we smooth it off is because if we don't, pigment builds up on the roughness and eventually rises to the point where it makes a mark on the paper. If you're only doing a few copies of a print, then you don't have to worry about going too deeply. If you were doing a lot of copies of the print, you need to go deeper. Is there show and tell today? Yes. Oh, it's 9:15. Okay. Yes, there is a show and tell. Sorry, guys. Okay, the show and tell is technically a repeat, because the thing that I'm going to show, when I got it, the day I got it, I think I opened up the package when it came in, and we flipped through it and looked at it. So you've actually seen it before, but there's a reason for me selecting it again today. The last couple of show and tells, we've looked at, wrong glasses. The last couple of show and tells, we have looked at a book that I had, a Taisho era book, a reproduction of an old book that showed older craftsmen at work. And it was actually interesting the last couple of days. What are these people doing? What are they making? So I remembered, I've got in the collection upstairs a bunch of other old woodblock prints that are related to the same theme. Shokunin Burui, older craftsmen doing stuff like this. And this would have been a couple of years ago I got this, and I think I showed it to you. It was a collection of the old Senshafada prints. And this was the same basic theme. Excuse me, let me get some stuff out of the way here. This is going to be a bit difficult because we don't have a whole lot of room here. It was the same basic theme. It was older craftsmen making stuff done in the Senshafada style. Now what I should maybe do, these things going to come out. No, they're not easily going to come out of the book. I'm sorry. Whatever, we'll have to make do with this. Let's take one of them out so you can see what I'm getting at. It's a set of Senshafada prints, and they're in pairs. The normal Senshafada designs are 1-up. These are done 2-up, and it's a series based on the work of old craftsmen. And they've been pasted down, unfortunately, into an album of terrible paper. And we have to get these off here at some point. But they are beautiful, beautiful objects. And we have again here now a question of what are all these different craftsmen doing? Now this couple of ladies, it's something to do with weaving. Yeah, it's interesting. They're stylized. They are. The style is different. What they've done is they've made it look like this. Look, they've added what they would call furubi to make it look like an old scroll or something that has been beaten up. It's kind of a bit tatty, but whatever. They're doing something to do with weaving. They're doing thread. Whether this is the end product they're going to be making, the kumihimo or not, I don't know. This is some kind of stand she's got. This guy's easier. We had one of this same one in the other one. This is a tatami guy. And you can see he's got behind him some standing up tatami. He is working on a tatami in front of him at the moment. And out front of his shop, this is a stand where the tatami will be placed. And did you notice also too what we've got here? Every one of these prints has had a block carved for it to do karazuri around the outside. Somebody watching, you're live. What is this guy doing? We have a workbench in the background and a tub of water. I like his hat. Keep the rain off, not. So that's right. That's you guys, the show. And this is me. But what is he doing? It looks like, could these be sword fittings? The tsuba, a sword fitting. And he's polishing or doing something with one of them in the water. And let's look at his bench out back. Yeah, that would be my guess. He's either making 5 yen coins or he's making some sword parts or other assorted hardware. Oh, this one's easy. Feathers, and of course the finished product, the arrows in. Yeah, Fletcher, look at that, that's the name. I couldn't remember the word for this. Thank you. I should have stocked up on chocolate eggs before we started this morning. Sorry about that, I didn't think about this. What's this, water? This looks like maybe, so it's a fire brazier with water and a cup. So he's going to need warm water for something in his process. These are nicely done. Yeah, the cloth, maybe it's summertime and he's like, sweating over this. I guess maybe so. No idea. You tell me. What's this down here? What's this one? Okay, this is, I think, pretty straightforward. We've seen weaving before. A bit funny, the makeup and color on her face. A loom with some kind of foot treadle. That's a drill. Okay, I think we got this one. I think he can get this. He's got some of his products. The finished products are hanging up above his head there. I think we have a guy who is making, prayer beads, I believe. He's drilling with his drill. He's drilling a little hole in each bead, and he's going to put them on a string. And I think, in fact, there, look at this. That would be his logo to show. This is a prayer bead maker. So let me flip back into that first one we saw, that woman back here. I think that the woman doing this, I think these are her finished products. I'm going to guess that it's the woven braided cord. And she's at an early stage of the process getting the fabric, the thread ready to weave into cord, I think. Okay, let's grab another page. It's easier, I guess, if I just take them out of this book, obviously. Prints are beautiful. What's this? Can we get that? Oh, look at this. We actually see some really part of the process. The thing you're looking at right now, what this will be early Showa. This will be Showa 5, Showa 8, Showa 10, somewhere on there. 1930s is when this particular set of prints will be made. My guess. Actually, or not. Let's roll back. It's earlier than that. It's earlier. Give me a minute. I'll see. One of the end papers may have the date on it. It may be a late Taisho instead of early Showa. So let me qualify that. It's probably earlier than this. John's given us the 1930s. My guess is probably 1920s or so. Let's see. Okay, bending. It's not bento boxes. They're thin. These are the little stand that you place food on in front of a shrine. So I think this is not so much for making food. And these look like the dippers where you would scoop up water in front of a shrine. So this may be a more general guy. He's maybe making bento boxes as well. But I think, he's got big ones here too. Look at this, big tubs. So maybe he's a general worker making all kinds of stuff. There's stands for the shrine, for use in your bathtub, for dippers or whatever. He's bending thin wood with his mouth. Yeah, the drawing here, I mean, we're not talking about Rembrandt levels of drawing. What's next? No idea. Let's look up top. What's up top? Okay, there's the finished product. He's making lacquerware, trays and cups and whatever, but what's actually happening right now? Table legs, somebody says? I don't know. Parts of a horse, parts of armor. Is he drilling or painting with lacquer or something? What are the hills here? What's this on his table, his bench? Mirror stands, yeah. I do not know. What's this? It's some kind of container with stuff inside it, polishing material or water in there that he's using over here. Table legs. Let's go up to the top. Yeah, I get you. Okay, I can see that then. There's a stand thing. There's a tray. There's small lacquerware. And there is, of course, a lacquered table with these curved legs. Okay, I'll buy that for lack of a better suggestion. No idea. Moving up. Well, something to do with kimono and fabric, but what is happening here? We have thread looped around these things. Someone's got, is a tied to the post, and this person is pulling against that post and wrapping. Okay, I think we are in the early stages of preparing for tie-dyeing. Yes. That's exactly what it is. See this pattern? It's got all the places where that didn't get blue. And what you do is you tie string around your fabric into little places like this. So when you dip it into the vat, then the dye doesn't get into the part that's been tied. It's tie-dyeing or something. I don't know, this is Shibori Zome. I don't know. This is out of my field. And this person is squeezing, pulling against that string, rolling. So when this fabric is dumped into the vat, it doesn't pick up the dye in the parts that are tied. Shibori. Cool. Let's flip this over. This is an easy one. Tubs of water and sharpening stones. We have, I forget the name for this guy. There's a name for a sword sharpener. I don't remember what it is. 4,000 or 1,000 items. He has a lot of stones. I don't know if he knows about the numbers, but he knows what to do with them. So there's a name for it. I forget the name for the guy who does the sharpening. The people who make the swords don't do the sharpening. They roughly shape it, then out it goes to a professional sharpener. In fact, one of the guys is a guy called what's his name, Ted, who drops by here, used to drop by here once in a while, who is a sword sharpener in America. Okay, here we are. They're making bows, presumably, or stringing bows. Yeah, look at this. He's pressed it against the wall. He's bending it. He's got the string ready. He's stringing a bow. Probably not much difference there. Moving down. I know we can't get through all these. There are dozens and pages more of these things. We're not going to get through them all, so we're just going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 more after this. So we can't get through them all. What's this dude? He's pretty relaxed here. He's not making it. He's selling it. Woven baskets. Pretty cool dude there, pretty chill dude. It's summertime. He's very hot. He's got his cloth on, and we can see the kanpyo, the gourd here. A chilled out dude. So his wife is in the back making him, and he's up there in front just taking the money. So somebody asked about the outline. It's just decoration. They've tried to make it look like an old scroll, which is wearing out at the edges, and it's put on a background decoration just to mimic the wear and tear of an old scroll. This one is pretty straightforward, I think. A pair of blacksmiths. I would assume these are the products, and we've got another peekaboo. Look at this. Somebody's watching. Someone who knew about this, there's lots of questions, like what this little hook tool hanging on the wall, what would that be for? A little handle with a hook on it, maybe to pull stuff out of the coals. Maybe you got hot steel in the coal, you do not want to put your fingers in there. Yeah, tongs. Look at this. I think a blacksmith anywhere in the world would get this. What's this? Is that a pulley? Where they would lift stuff up with a pulley. Is that related to this, up and down? I guess so. Okay, let's flip. Oh, we have that side. Okay, let's take one more page out and have a look at it before we sign off. Just one more group. Let's have a look. Ooh, where are we? Another straightforward one. Yep, we can see exactly what he's doing. He's got his strips of bamboo ready. There's different bits of wood being assembled. He's a cooper. I think. I don't know the Japanese name for it. And as usual, the artist has had trouble with perspective, making things look round. Yeah, finished product in the background. And again, we have this in the other book, repeating. So, person making fans. They've got their woodblock prints all in a stack here. They might be hand painted, who knows. The main business was woodblock prints back in the old days. And they must have little stands and jigs to form it up with, stuff to hammer with, making fans. And of course, finished product. There we go. Lots of the finished product in the background. There's lots of foxing on the background paper. It's terrible. I've got to get this off. These need to go in the hot water tub upstairs, float them off, and put them in an album. They've got to get off the backing paper, but it's, What's this? Well, this is an armor helmet, but this doesn't look like armor. This looks more like more of a classical courtier's headpiece. So I guess we have a hat maker who does all different kinds of hats, obviously. I wouldn't have thought the same guy would make armor helmets would make these. I wouldn't have thought it was an overlapping work, but I don't know. Maybe he's just making inside, or he's doing both. I don't know. Who knows? Oh, we know what these guys are doing. What's this? I guess because there's people hacking away and chopping at this thing, they need something to stabilize it so it's tied in place, is it? And is this stone or is this wood? Place your bets. Do the chips show us? My guess would be stone, I think. Proved wrong, I don't know. Stone or wood, how can we tell? From the tools, he's got a mallet and what would look to me, it could be a chisel or it could be a steel, I don't know. Hairnet, so this presumably is a carving tool or chopping tool. He's doing this with no hammer, just by himself. So I think we're looking at wood. Maybe somebody said wood, perhaps so. He's not hammering, he's just slicing with his tool. So yeah, I think wood would be the guess here. Chokoku-ka. Okay, they will do it. Good. There's lots more left. Maybe we'll save some more of these for another day. Got to get these scanned, Can you imagine if all this stuff is scanned at super high resolution? They're on the website. Click through, look at them here, download them, have a look at them. We have tens of thousands of these things. Anyway, here we go. It's Saturday morning. I'm now overtime. I've got to get busy. There's a FedEx box to be packed off the way to America. I'll be back again Monday morning, and I will be working on the same piece of wood that you saw me chopping away there today. That'll be probably one more day on that. The next project after that, we'll be doing the carving for the small print for the Patreon share certificates, which is also due this month and next month. Okay, I'm out of the way. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye-bye for now. I'll turn my audio off, and I'll put the outside audio up. Okay, gang. Thanks for watching. I'm turning her off now. See you next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye for now.